So that's why, and a lot of QAnon people will tell you that. Oh yeah, constitutionalists. Yeah, it was for the Constitution. Yeah, but if you're not educated in what they're pushing, then it's easily to fall into their trap, because they're gonna tell you some good truth, like
Right.
how they use Hollywood. They're not all pedophiles. No, some of them are. I'm not gonna lie. Some of them are, but not all of them. That's like saying all brown people are rapists. Come on, you can't.
But
You
they don't
can't use
have
that.
that many. They don't have that many people in Hollywood, though. If you see most of them, though, they tell on themselves. Like, they show their own rituals and shit on their own music videos. Like, you don't even have to go and see, like, oh, is this girl this or that? Like, they straight out show you who they're working for, what they're doing. Because if they show you that in the light, imagine what they're doing in the darkness. And all that stuff is part of a program that they called MK Ultra. And this is not conspiracy. They had lots of documents of how they experimented on people and how they controlled our mind through pharmaceuticals, through hypnosis,
But once
through
again,
all kinds.
I just okay me and back to the nation, how they fear mongrel. It's to go to Malcolm, right? People tend to forget that he was not part of the nation, and a lot of our people go towards the nation or get a lot of information or learn from the nation uh, because of that very reason. Because even the nation still puts the perception that Malcolm was for the nation. You know what I mean? But
Right.
his last time alive, he was outspoken and going against him.
With great regret, there's no organization in this country that could do more for the struggling black man than the Black Muslim movement if it wanted to. But it has gotten into the possession of a man who's become senile in his old age and perhaps doesn't realize it. And then he has surrounded himself by his children who are now in power and want nothing but luxury and security and comfort and will do anything to safeguard their own interests.
Right.
And for the very reason that I was saying, like, that's why I go back to the segregation part. Like, we are in the way of the whites and the blacks in this country as brown people. And back to the nation, how they fear mongrel with
Right.
the Hollywood movies and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, they were programming us. No, bro, they were not programming us. No, they weren't. Unless you're that weak-minded to believe that you could be programmed. See, me, I grew up in the streets. I grew up during the time people were trying to kill each other, shooting at one another. We were burying our friends at 13, 14, 15 years old. You know, like I grew up watching people shooting up heroin and doing drugs and turning to meth. You know, I grew up watching older women being with younger men and older men being with younger women. You want to talk about trauma? You want to talk about horrible fucking things? I witnessed some horrible fucking things growing up.
Right.
So the information that I take into my mind is always about survival. That's how I take it. If I'm taking in information or this and that, my first thing is survival.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I was forced to live a life where I was forced to have to survive. When I analyze, when I see, when I read, when I look at things, I'm looking at things differently. Because when I watch these movies, when I see these movies, when I was growing up, like Terminator and all these other things that they fucking come out with, what I'm trying to say is that the fear mongering, these people attack Hollywood because they say what they say. But to me, when I was taking it in, I was taking it in as warnings. I was taking it that
Right.
Hollywood was warning us.
But who do you
Hollywood was
think gives
warning,
them the ideas
Hollywood
to
was
do all those
warning
things?
on where this government was taking us. But see,
Right.
the nation and these white supremacy people will find it nothing better than to destroy this system, because movie is part of the system. You know, movies, filmmakers, movies is what help destroys segregation. Music is what destroys segregation. Sports.
Right, but not the mainstream stuff.
What destroys segregation. Sports, movies. So therefore, the Nation of Islam wants segregation. The white supremacists want segregation.
But you mentioned conspiracy between the black Muslims and the right wing of this country. Could you elaborate on that?
I mentioned the conspiracy between the Muslims and the right wing in this country.
So since the white supremacy wants segregation and the Nation of Islam wants segregation, they're going to attack and want to destroy the very foundations that destroyed segregation.
I know for a fact that there is a conspiracy between the Muslims and the Lincoln Rockwell Nazi and also the Ku Klux Klan. There is a conspiracy.
And that was hot. That was movies. That was sports. And that was music. Music, a lot of boundaries. So therefore, those are the very strong foundations of bringing people together. Movies, music, and sports has always brought people together, no matter what color, no matter what race, no matter what gender you were. That has always been used to bring people together and diverse. So of course, this Nation of Islam and the white supremacy are going to attack that foundation.
Describe this conspiracy.
Well, the Ku Klux Klan made a deal, or were trying to make a deal with Elijah Muhammad in 1960 in the home of Jeremiah X, the minister in Atlanta at that time, who at present is the minister in Philadelphia. They were trying to make a deal with him to make available to Elijah Muhammad a county, a size tract of land in Georgia or South Carolina, where Elijah Muhammad could then induce Negroes to migrate and make it appear that his program of a segregated state or separated state was feasible. And to what extent these negotiations finally developed, I do not know, because I was not involved in them beyond the period of December 1960. But I do know that after that, Jeremiah, who was the minister throughout the South, could roam the entire South, and the Klan not bother him in any way, shape, or form, nor would they bother any of the black Muslims from then on, nor would the black Muslims bother the Klan.
I listen to Rizzo sometimes, right? And he pushes a lot of, they're like Republicans. Those people are Republicans.
Donald Trump is getting some support from a really unlikely source. Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan praised the billionaire for refusing donations from Jews. In a sermon this week, Farrakhan said Trump is the only one who stands up to Jewish groups and says that he won't take their money. The religious leader, however, fell short of fully endorsing Trump. According to the Anti-Defamation League, Trump throughout his campaign has maintained that he is pro-Israel.
They push the same QAnon conspiracy theories. They like to put fear in people with their messaging. Are you afraid, Negro? You know, like, are you afraid? Like, they like to push a lot of fear into people. But they educate as well. Don't get me wrong. They educate. But they're pro-Republican because one thing about them is that they want segregation. They want to break off, right? So we're an inconvenience to them, brown people.
Right.
We're an inconvenience to them. Because the less brown people, the more opportunity for black people. That's what I see.
Well, I see it like, well, if you get into like researching about like Satanists and stuff, they...
A few.
But the reason that Hollywood tells us what they're doing is because they already know what they're doing. They're going based off of an agenda that they've given their families to.
Off of the people who know. The answer is simple. Attack the people who you believe are truly them. Go to their fucking houses and protest. Go to their fucking houses and make them come out. Bring the accusers and make them have a set a day in their trial. But they're not about that.
And all these QAnon people are just in their houses waiting for these people, these pedophiles, to get arrested by this supposed savior who's the face of pedophilia.
This is what I'm saying. So that's why when they're attacking these institutions, when they're attacking the sports, when they're attacking the movie people, when they're attacking the music people, yes, some of them are piece of shits and they gotta go. But not all of them are piece of shit.
But you know what? It was our people.
They have LeBron James on that list. Do you know LeBron James sends kids to he pays for kids bikes and bus trips to go to school. He puts kids through colleges. He builds elementary schools in one of the poorest motherfucking cities in the United States. That man fucking is all about free our kids. If you think about it, he is freeing his children over there in a fucking city that he Atkins over there where he grew up. He's literally rebuilding a whole city, financing himself. And he's on the fucking QAnon's list. So sometimes you gotta put two together.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know all that, like exactly who's on the list and all that. But you know what I'm gonna tell you is that, okay, I understand the point that you're making, but I feel that the same way that you say that sports and all that has brought us together, I feel it's also a big part of division, because people, just because you're on another team, they're fighting against each other, se agarran, like, with knives and stuff. Like, that's really bullshit. Like, about a team that has no idea what your name is and doesn't really care about you, you know, just that you buy their merch and stuff. So, I don't know, like, I'm on the other side. I feel like it does more bad than good. And if it has been our people, like, if it has been, like, music, right? It's because our people have been pushing it. It's because our people pushed through, not because the establishment gave them a little space or whatever. It's because our people over-excelled at what they were doing, and they copied us. Like the whole Elvis Presley. You know, he wasn't even the one who invented rock and roll, but that's who they put on the TV as the face of it. You know, it was Chuck Berry, the black guy.
He was a pedophile.
Who? Chuck Berry?
No, Elvis.
Elvis Presley? I'm pretty sure. I think most of them are. And if I feel like they're just
his wife was
I feel like they're just like cops though. I feel like cops, right? I don't feel like there's such a thing as good cops, because the longer that you're there, the more shit that you witness, the more crimes that you see. And you're not saying shit, you're just as guilty. And I feel that's the same way with all these actors and shit. Like, they know stuff, they see things, and they don't say nothing. So they're just as bad.
But how do you know they're not telling you through their movies? That's where I go again. They're telling us through their movies.
Yeah, no, they do tell us, but I'm saying
so therefore, whose fault is it? Because look, I know there's
definitely our fault.
I know there's a problem, right? I know the problem. You know there's a problem, but we're not gonna fucking just be like, you know what? These guys are taking away our freedom. I'm gonna go over there and let them have it. Well, I'm right. Listen, they're gonna take me out real quick. So it's like what Michelle Obama said at the end of her book, that this country, the way the system runs, is always gonna continue the way that it runs until all you motherfuckers get the fuck up and do something about it.
Right.
Because it don't make no sense for me or my husband to kill ourselves if you're not ready to fight for yourself. I can't argue with truth. Because I would love to change the world. But am I gonna go out there with the fucking this and that and go like a fucking wild cowboy, man? If the people are able to fight for themselves. So all we can do, like you say, program, education. All we can do is share knowledge until the people are ready. But hopefully by then it ain't too late. You know what I mean? Yeah. That's what you gotta think about. Because time's ticking.